Hey there folks, as you can see, this is going to be on the Brous division folder, which I just got today. I would say this is probably the last blade that I'm going to get delivered before the blade show. Depending on how fast I upload, it's Tuesday, so Friday morning I'm leaving for blade, and this came. I ordered this a couple of weeks ago. Right after I got the reloader. I was so impressed with it that I figured I'll follow up and order the division. What happened, I actually ordered out the blackout version. I just want to show you guys this. But some errors happened administratively. Jason doesn't really know how it happened, but instead I got the satin finish blade, which is fine. And I'll tell you why it's fine. Not only is the flipper just, this thing is like Jim did on his review, that's why I'm not going to go too much into this. It's just ridiculous smooth. But I'm checking out the numbers, right? Look at the serial number that Jason gave me. You guys can make that out. You see that? Shoot, I don't know if you guys can read that, but it's there it is. 18 of 500. Which, I don't know if you guys remember from my Brous reloader, this bad boy is also 18 of 500. I hope you guys were able to see that. Coinky dink? I don't know. So I reached out to Jason and basically I explained to him the situation, and he said, oh, he apologized. He says it's just some clerical error went wrong, but he asked if I want to send it back or if I just want to keep it and just refund me the difference, which I, being it's the same serial number, I told Jason, I'll just keep it because it's the same serial number. It's kind of cool. And he just actually he promptly credited me the balance. Yeah. So. Yeah, pretty quick service from Jason. He's Johnny on the spot. You got an issue, you contact him. He aims to please. I'm very impressed with it. I would have liked the blackout blade. I got the Satin with the DLC coating. The blackout blade is Cerakote, so it would have been cool to have something in black. Kind of like, yeah. Anyways. But anyway, it's still a cool looking blade. Just take a quick look at this carbon fiber. It's very smooth, very nice. I'll talk about the flipper in a sec. The difference with this and the reloader, if you guys will notice, is the titanium liners are the same size. How cool is that? Right, let me get the reloader. So if you guys remember from my last video, the lock side of the reloader is a little bit thicker than this handle side over here, but not in the case of the division. It's exact same size all the way through. And as Jim pointed out, the difference is, I guess just to make it lighter, this knife is 5.73 ounces. So it's even though it's bigger, it's a little bit lighter than the reloader, which is 6.2 ounces. What Jason did in this one is he milled out this handle side of the liner. See that? Heavily milled out. There's blocks of squares missing from that. But not on the lock side. The lock side, he didn't mill out at all, as you can see. Right, and again, he went with 2 standoffs. Very nice. I'm not sure if that's titanium or that's steel. Instead of the reloader, which has this gear pattern backspacer. Both cool, really cool. My preference, I like the standoffs better. It's just a nice flow through design, and it's easier to maintain. As I said in the last video, I'm not crazy about the milling because, debris can get in there, and it's kind of be a pain in the ass to clean. You know, you have to blow it out with air, or possibly, you know, take it apart. So not crazy about that. So pick your poison, you know. Deep pocket carry clip, very nice. Reversible. He's got like this filler tab piece here. I guess if you want to stick a lanyard in there, like in the reloader. So what Jason did is he filled this, like this one's open, doesn't have anything. You can, you know, you can switch it over. It's got that hole. But on this one, he put like this this lanyard tab filler thing above, which is good because, you know, not that it's such a small space. I don't think it'll be prone to get dirt in there anyway. But you know, I thought that was pretty thoughtful. Perfectly centered. Perfectly centered. If you guys remember from my reloader video, I had some issue with the blade. I had a little bit of play. This one does not. This one's completely solid. I mean, the reloader now is completely solid after, you know, a little Loctite. Just quick size comparison. Let's get the. Of course, it came with all the swag that Jason normally sends out. So this blade is overall length. The overall length of the knife is almost 10 inches. The blade length is about 4.5 inches, and it's D2 steel, which is Jason's preferred steel. It's got a drop point profile, great for slicing, right? And it's got this high hollow grind, so you know it's gonna be definitely a better slicer than the Brous reloader. But isn't the Brous just so friggin' cool? I don't know. It's just such a cool looking knife. Oh, let's talk about the flipper. So if you saw my video on the Brous and I compared it to other flippers, the flippers are completely different designs, right? On the division, yeah, the division. I want to call it the divider. The division, it swoops up. You know, not too, you know, very similar to the Curtis knives, F3 and the Hinderer. And this one's more similar to the my Bodega. The flipper does not have any jimping at all, and neither does the, of course, neither does the reloader. It's not very big. It's not as big as the Curtis F3. But and again, you know, I do prefer this flipper design because you're basically like pushing down on a tab, right? And then it flies out. As opposed to this, where you're kind of like, you don't want to push, it's because it swoops up, you don't want to push down this way, but you're basically pushing through it, right? So if you're a flipper nut like me, you're constantly flipping. Eventually, as you can see, it leaves a crease in your finger. But it is very smooth, so, you know. So that's one criticism, if you can even call that a criticism. But it's so smooth. It's so smooth. It just flies out. Oh, I just want to show you guys the. Well, let me close it and then lock it up again. Lockup is super early. Look how early. That's super early. Some of you guys might not even be comfortable with that. I tested it out. Like I tested out my Birch. It doesn't fail. It's just super early as opposed to the reloader. See the difference? The reloader is like, I would say, I can't see from here, but it looks like it's almost like 40%. Where this one, the division, right? It's, wow, that's early. 10% maybe? Super early. Both knives are carbidized, so the locks are carbidized, so you won't have any stick issues. I mean, it might have a little stick now that you hear, but I'm sure with use and breaking in period, that's going to be smooth, just like you saw in my Boker, the one that Thai Survival pimped out. What else? I mean, Jim pretty much covered everything on this knife. So, but what does this thing look like to you guys? It's a big knife. It is a big knife, right? Again, I got like medium-sized hands, and it fits perfect. The only jimping is over here and over here, which I think is similar to Jim's. I don't think Jason basically didn't add any more jimping. Now, I don't know if it's because it's an earlier run. My clip also doesn't have any logos, and neither does my reloader, which some of you guys know that the reloader clip has that Mikhail Williamson logo. This doesn't. Just check out the clips. You know, almost similar. Almost similar. They flipped it around. This way it's like a teardrop going this way. There's a teardrop going the opposite way. Teardrop shape. But yeah, it's a good size. It's a good size knife. It's gonna be like my steak knife. Whip this out in a nice fancy Peter Luger's restaurant. But I was looking at this thing, and you guys might think it too right now. Just I'm asking, what does it look? This is reminiscent of another knife. A pretty popular knife not too long ago. I mean, it's not available anymore. But this, to me, looks a lot like the Kershaw Tilt. Kershaw Tilt had this similar angles, if you guys remember. Except that Kershaw Tilt was definitely, it didn't have the smoothness and the like this groove that Jason design on this blade, and definitely didn't have the same. I think the Tilt had more like a Warncliffe, and it was very mechanical looking. If you'll have, right? It's weird. Like I mean, maybe the angle on the Kershaw Tilt's a little more steep, if memory serves me. But it's weird. It's weird. And when I first got to it, I thought it wouldn't fit right in the hand, but it does. It fits perfect. It's you know, it just sits in the basically the center of your palm, and it just sits there perfect. And it's very comfortable. It definitely is very comfortable. You know, I love the reloader, and I think if I had to pick one, I think the reloader would be my favorite, only for the cool factor. And then this is probably definitely a better slicer. But when I hold the reloader, you definitely feel the G10. You definitely there's definitely a bunch of how can I say this grooves and cuts that you feel. It's not uncomfortable, but you definitely feel it in the center of your palm when you're holding it. Whereas in this division folder, it's very smooth. It's just you get a good purchase on it. It's very comfortable. You know, your hand's not thinking, what's that? No, it just grips it, and it's nice. Last thing I'm gonna do, because I know I talk too much, but I just want to do a size comparison. You already saw the reloader, right? Here's a good one. Let me take this out. So I'm gonna show you guys the Satin, the Grayman knife Satin. All right, it's basically. Oh man, I'm getting glare on this thing. So, how cool would it happen if I had the Cerakote of 2 black blades here? But just give you guys an idea. If you guys have the Satin, the Grayman Satin, you know this thing is a monster. This is a beast. Look at the size of this knife, and it's pretty much the same size as the Division. Same size. This, of course, is a little bit thinner. Feels better in hand. This one you feel like Rambo. Alright guys, this should be my last video before Blade, and definitely look for me, look for the bag, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of you guys, fellow YouTubers. Definitely want to meet Jason. Yeah, so unless something else comes in, this should be the last vid before Blade. Alright, peace.